Hello stargazers, Happy New Year. My name is Bryan Colter. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, and this is my horoscope video for the upcoming Cancer full moon. Here we are entering into 2023, thank God. And I just want to take a moment to thank all of you that have supported my channel since the beginning. It's been about 3.5 years since I started this thing. I've enjoyed it immensely, and I thank you for your support. And for those of you who are new to this channel, I hope you enjoy the content. Being an evolutionary astrologer, I look at the symbols a little bit differently, as growth potential, basically. I see the planets as harbingers of evolution. They affect us energetically. Now, what we do with that energy is totally up to us. That's where the magic of our free will comes into play. But in understanding what the energy signature of each of these planets brings, we can figure out how to work with that energy instead of against it to accelerate our evolution. I believe the whole reason we are incarnated is to learn, is to grow, to make ourselves better, and working with these planets proactively in our lives from our own betterment and evolution is my favorite way to work with astrology. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, before I get to the Cancer full moon, I really want to take a look at our entrance into this new year and also look back at the last few years, really all the way back since 2018. In 2018, Saturn entered its own sign of Capricorn. Now, actually, Saturn rules two signs. It rules Capricorn and Aquarius, which just happen to be right next to each other in the zodiac. So whenever Saturn enters Capricorn, we're in for a 5-year-long stretch of deeply Saturnian times. Now, Saturn finally leaves Aquarius at the end of that 5-year chunk, March of 2023. So from 2018 to 2023, we've been in the time of Saturn. Now, it's known as the Greater Malefic for a reason, because it usually brings about hard times. And of course, this has been some hard times. That rings true. Now, it's not because Saturn just wants to be a pain in our butts. Everything has an evolutionary opportunity. Really, the great prize of us successfully navigating Saturn events is to grow up, is to become more mature. And through the hardship, through the mistakes, through this feeling of oppression, of slowness, the grind, of being dragged through the mud, we learn so much through those experiences, and really that's a priceless gift. So from the perspective of the ego, going through Saturn events isn't so good. It's like, oh, many of us lament to see Saturn conjunct our sun in our birth chart, for example. But from the soul's perspective, it's a gift, although it doesn't look that way, because we pack so much real growth and change during Saturn times. Now, that 5-year chunk, early 2018 to March of 2023, it isn't evenly dispersed Saturnian energy. It really is spiky, kind of like a heartbeat monitor or something like that. And the top of the spikes is when there's also major Saturn events when it is interacting with another planet. Now, as many of you know, January 2020 is when Saturn and Pluto became conjunct in the sky. Major pressure cooker energy. So that was the first big spike. And then they joined up with Jupiter later in the year. That was another big spike. And then since 2021, we've been having the Saturn-Uranus square, which has been an ongoing 2-year big pulse, which had 3 mini spikes within it. I know I'm getting a little technical here, but let's just say the worst is over. Saturn's still in Aquarius. It will be until March, but the worst is over. Yes, it's strong, but it's not nearly as formidable as it was since basically around October and November of 2022 is when it started to really down throttle, as it finally left, especially in December, left the square to Uranus, and now we are kind of petering out with Saturn until March. So Saturn's still in Aquarius, but it'll be officially over in March. Now, that's one big major change this year. Another one is Pluto. the slowest moving planet in the sky, is changing sign into Aquarius. It's going to dip its toes into Aquarius for a few months, starting March 2023. So that's going to be a very important month this year. But Pluto changing signs is majorly significant because it's the planet of transformation and the planet of power. So whenever it enters a new sign, there's a radical shift throughout the world. But not only with Pluto, all of the slow-moving transpersonal planets, Uranus and Neptune as well. And Neptune changes signs in 2025, Uranus changes signs in 2026. So we have this triple pulse of Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, the three slowest moving planets, all changing signs within a 3 or 4 year period of time, which is super rare. So the world we have in 2026 is a completely different world than the world we have right now. So a whole new world is being created, and this is starting right now, beginning of 2023. I know March isn't here yet. I'm really looking forward to that, but it's going to come super quickly because we have a variety of events happening right now which are about sheer speed. I'll get to the Cancer full moon, I promise, but I'm talking more big picture here. Now, in my last video, the event I focused on then was the Jupiter entering a new sign of Aries. It's only going to be in Aries for 6 months. It usually spends 12 months in a sign because Jupiter is moving very, very fast. The king of the gods in the sign of the warrior. Warriors is a fire sign, Aries, and it's also about speed and assertiveness and moving forward and jumping into battle, moving forward into action. All fire signs are signs of action. Also, we have, during this full moon period, we have Mars, the planet that rules Aries. Jupiter's in Aries. We also have Mars, which rules Aries, stationing as we speak. It's really going to be stationing over the next week or so, and it'll go direct. It's been going retrograde for a while now. It'll begin to go direct January 12th. Also, Mercury, which has been going retrograde, will begin to go direct January 18th. So Mercury and Mars, from our perspective here on Earth, look as though in the sky that they're slowing down, screeching to a halt, and then they're about to go direct. Okay, they start to move forward. So although Jupiter in Aries is about speed, inertia, momentum, and that's why March is going to come so quickly. Really, the first 5 months of the year are just going to blow right by. But this really won't start to be felt in a big way until January 12th to January 18th, when the two planets which have been going backwards will now be going direct, adding to that speed and inertia. Mercury is the fastest moving planet around the sun. So once it starts speeding up, it's like, look out. Now, just a really brief recap on what Jupiter in Aries means, because it's such a big event, is figuring out how you've been underestimating yourself. That's Jupiter. With the goal being, in terms of your evolutionary journey, I'm going to believe in myself more. And how am I going to do that? Through the agenda of the warrior, by facing my fears, by expanding my comfort zones, by leaping into battle. That's how you work with Jupiter. It's a deeply expansive energy. And if you want to know how Jupiter in Aries is affecting your own personal chart, there's a class, really it's a tutorial, 40 minutes long on my website. I'll put a link, you can check it out. Also, in my last video, I actually walked through all 12 of the houses of the chart. So if you know where Jupiter, what house it's in, you can refer to that video. I'll put a link to that video as well, so you can check that out if you missed it. Now let's pivot from this more fiery, expansive energy into this Cancer full moon, which is more about nurturing and caring. It has a more watery feeling. Now, full moons are always powerful events because here is the moon in the sky, so visible, fully reflecting the light of the sun. And the sun keeps us warm in the deep freeze of space. It represents sheer life force and vitality and energy. So whenever the sun is activating a planet in astrology, we can consider it like a big dumb battery that's supercharging whatever that planet is or that energy or that archetypal field. So the sun supercharging the moon. And the moon has always been seen to be connected to our heart and our emotional world, because it's been observed that when we have full moons, people tend to be a little bit more touchy or reactive. Obviously, I'm generalizing here. But it has been observed that it does, the movement of the moon does affect our emotions, does affect our astral body, does have effect on our reflexive behaviors and our desires. So moon representing heart, representing soul, our subjective reality, working with one's moon, whether by transit like we're doing here, or your own personal moon in your birth chart, is figuring out the secret of self-nurturing, the secret of tending to the needs of your heart, tending to the needs of your soul. Now, moon, always, full moon, always super strong, but it's even stronger now because it's in the sign of Cancer. Moon is said to rule the sign of Cancer, and whenever a planet's in its own sign, it's very, very strong. So full moon plus in its own sign, a gigantic theme here, which is building on what I've already said, basically. It's a time of self-nurturing, perhaps a time of nurturing others, a time of connecting with family, things like this. This is a part of the archetypal theme. Now, if we fuse the nurturer or the classic mother archetype, because the moon is known as the great mother that nurtures all life, the mother with all this warrior energy, the king of the gods, Jupiter, in the sign of the warrior. Meanwhile, Mars, the war god, currently stationing in the sky. Again, whenever a planet is stationing, it's also very strong. So to mother, okay, what these have in common, although on the face they look very different, is they both have an impulse to protect the weak and defenseless. So protector energy. So self-nurture, nurturing of others, protecting thyself, protecting others is a major theme over these next couple weeks, because we have strong mother or father, doesn't matter what sex we're talking about here, just the energy of it, and then the protective instinct of the warrior. It's also a deeply reflective time. That's part of the moon in Cancer as well. So a time of reflection, and with Mars stationing in Gemini, the sign of communication and perception. Meanwhile, Mercury, which I said is also going to start to station here, goes direct on the 18th. That is in a conjunction with the sun, the big dumb battery supercharging whatever it touches. A near perfect conjunction with Mercury, supercharging Mercury as well. Mercury rules Gemini, the sign that Mars is in. I'm getting a little confusing here, but the short version is there's a theme here, a Mercurial / Geminian theme, which is connected to writing, thinking, speaking, okay, perceiving reality. So the moon reflecting the light of the sun, a period of contemplation and reflection. Writing about what you reflect upon. This is a beautiful time to start journaling, okay? Here we are about to enter into this, expansiveness and all this, which is really going to take shape after the 12th to the 18th, as I said before. But up until then, thinking about what those actions are that you want to take, thinking about, okay, what am I afraid of? How can I expand into life? How can I take up more space? How can I seize the moment, seize the day in Jupiter and Aries fashion, especially with whatever house it's in, as I said before? Mercury, Gemini, active now. Cancer, active now. Self-reflection. What do I need to do? Doesn't mean you can't take action now. If you do get an opportunity to seize the moment, take that opportunity. That's part of Jupiter and Aries, okay? But then go into reflection about it during this full moon. This period of time is all about heart right now. Now, there's a planet that is in a harmonious aspect to this inwardness that's trying to blossom within us now, and that's the planet Uranus. Uranus is in a near perfect what's called sextile, which is a 60-degree angle with the full moon itself. It's also in a trine to the sun, because it's sun opposite moon, so when it's in aspect to one, it's in aspect to the other. And sextiles and trines are harmonious aspects. They're beneficial. They're supportive. The tripping hazard for sextiles and trines, every front has a back, is just sleeping through the potential. It's there for us, but it's not as in our face as some of the more friction-based aspects out there, but it's there for us. And Uranus is the guardian to our real self. It's known as the planet of authenticity. So this idea of Moon in Cancer, family, nurturing. Of course, this is connected to family of origin themes sometimes, as well as the family we create. Uranus, on the other hand, is the planet of autonomy and freedom and independence and being ourselves. Again, the guardian to our real self, in harmony with this Moon in Cancer as we reflect upon, okay, how can I become more in alignment with my authentic self? That's a very Uranian question. And then the more lunar follow-up question would be, how have I sacrificed some of my own authenticity and my own needs relative to family? And how can I, enter Jupiter, seize the day? How can I take advantage of these opportunities that are available to me now to take up some more space in terms of who I actually am instead of who I've been trained to be by my family of origin? You know, this is a great opportunity to become a deeper expression of that part of you that is really an extension of your soul, of your divinity, the part of you that's been evolving for dozens or hundreds of lifetimes. That's part of you, your soul personality. And then we also have our acquired personality, which is influenced by others in this current incarnation. And working with Uranus is really becoming less a byproduct of other people's energy and how you've interacted with that in the course of this lifetime, and more so an expression of who you really are. So in part of our reflective time, Moon in Cancer, full moon, it's like, okay, how can I be more authentic, and how is my family encroached upon that freedom-seeking splendor that my soul wants to express out into the world? Jupiter and Aries times are ultimately about being bold, you know, taking up more of that space. And, you know, Mars in Gemini, that's a freedom-seeking symbol. Even Uranus is a freedom-seeking symbol. Mercury is to some degree as well. Mercury is in Capricorn, right next to the Sun in Capricorn, because we're in this Capricorn season. Capricorn's the hermit archetype, the sign of self-sufficiency. So freedom, autonomy, agency. How can I claim more autonomy in my life as an act of self-nurturing? I'm worth it, you know. And just nurturing in general. Maybe it boils down to just taking more bubble baths, or cook yourself a nice meal, or take that time off that you need if you're feeling exhausted. You know, it's like tending to the needs of the heart, tending to the needs of the soul. If you get that right over the next couple of weeks, you're going to feel so much better, and it will prepare you for this amazing boost of energy we're all going to feel, especially post the 18th, really all the way until May, as Jupiter in Aries just blows through this sign. You'll be well positioned for that roller coaster ride that we're headed into. So these are the core evolutionary intentions, with the goal being to expand our consciousness. If you enjoyed this video, please like or subscribe and comment below, share with your friends. Now we're going to transition into the guided meditation. As most of you know, I use binaural beats, so please use headphones for best results. This is a variant of a meditation I did a couple times last year called New Timeline, where we envision a new timeline for ourselves. I figured it was a great meditation to do because here we are in this 4-year period of time where, again, we're headed into this new world. Who do you want to be in this new world that we co-create together within the collective? This meditation will help you to visualize that future self and who that person will be. I hope you enjoy it. Take care. Let's begin by focusing on the breath. And on the next inhale, follow the breath into your lungs, and then continue to move downward all the way to your feet. And concentrate and feel your feet. And now feel from your knees down to your toes, and only from the knees to the toes. Concentrate on the toes now. And feel from your toes to your heels. And now feel from your pelvic area down to your heels. And as you feel from your pelvic area down to your heels, at the same time, feel your thighs and your knees. If you concentrate like this for a little while, you will feel that something in the soles of your feet is tingling. It's the circulation of blood. You might notice it's easier to concentrate and feel your thighs than it is your knees and the soles of your feet. This is because in your thighs there's much more etheric vitality and energy there. On your next inhale, move your awareness into your belly at the navel area. And as you inhale, feel how your belly expands. And as you exhale, the air goes out, but the energy stays in. And as you focus on the navel area, mentally see a sky blue light inside of a sphere that begins inside your stomach but extends outside of your body, around your abdomen. And with each inhale, you see this sky blue light in the sphere glow brighter and brighter. And as you exhale, the air goes out, but the energy stays in. And now make a wish for this pure sky blue etheric vitality from your stomach area. Wish that it begins to circulate and spread throughout your body. With each inhale, see the sky blue color become more concentrated and bright inside the stomach, and then see it ripple throughout your entire body. Now begin to move very slowly with your awareness from your navel area up towards the center of your chest. Silence all your emotions and your desires, and just relax into the visualization of a beautiful rosy light sphere expanding from the center of your heart and outside of your body around your chest. And as you visualize the rosy sphere, feel the beats of your heart, the pulse of life. What a gift. Also feel your breath into your lungs. Continue to visualize the rosy sphere. And now come up slowly towards your head, and now see a radiant golden sun in and around your head. And clean your thoughts in this golden light. And now see around your body a bright white egg-shaped oval of light. The fatter part of the egg at the top, the narrower part beneath your feet, surrounding your entire body. The white light is more dense in the body and slowly evaporates around the body. Now let the visualization fade and wrap your entire body with your attention. Be very focused on your body Spread your awareness throughout all the cells of your physical body. And on the count of 3, imagine that all your cells die in a split second and are immediately replaced by new cells. 1, 2, 3. Forget all the memories of the past. Imagine now that you are reborn, and this is your first day on Earth. You are now a clean slate in this moment. Now picture yourself sitting in a room and imagine your future self from 3 or 4 years in the future walks into the room and is now standing in front of you. And since you've forgotten all the past memories, you only have the memories between now and 3 years in the future. 3 years in the future, we'll have a whole new world. And allow your future self to explain to you all the accomplishments and successes that you've had over the last years. He or she might even give you some reasons why you accomplished them, and how the world is different, and how exciting it is. Your mind might even start to generate images or pictures of how that might have happened and what it might look like. And be excited like a little child with wonder, astonishment, and awe. No need to consider how it's possible. Your future self is just explaining to you as if it's already happened. And now imagine that future self turning into a bright, shimmering light that dissolves into you. Feel that mist surrounding you and favoring you. The mist is very pleased with you. And feel as though your body is a sponge, absorbing that mist. Allow your mind to describe a few words that would describe these whole next years and what they have in store for you. What words come up regarding the successes of this time? Feel the strength, the courage, the fulfillment, and the joy. Keep your eyes closed, but take your hands and allow them to cover your face. And now consider as if you're stepping through a doorway into that amazing future. And as you slowly begin to open your eyes, also start to open your hands as if you're starting to open and step through a doorway or a portal into this future self. Welcome to your new evolved self.